All right, so today's video is titled Know Thyself, and you may be asking yourself, okay, yeah, I know myself, da, 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 da. But no, do you really know yourself? I do a lot of, part of the reason why I'm antisocial, and I mean, like, this is the most social I am, is on YouTube. Past that, I'm not social at all. So I'm an introvert by nature. I don't really like dealing with a lot of people, and I like keeping to myself. It's just who I am. But I had a really deep epiphany over the last couple of days, and I kind of wanted to share it with you guys. And the epiphany is this. Okay, so you know how I keep talking about how, like, I will get in a confrontational situation and then I get this huge adrenaline rush and, my body starts, going through what I like to call tremors. And then if it keeps amping up, eventually what happens is I black out, and I could and have in the past gotten violent and did what I needed to do during that period of time. It's only been twice, and nobody got hurt, but the situation was neutralized in a very different way. So, and I'm thinking, that all of this came from my work accident, because, it's like, it's been going on since then. That's when it really started and happened for me. But I was thinking, it's something that's always been on my mind is, what happened when I was, I think I was like 15, almost 16 years old. And there was something that almost supernatural that happened that day. I wouldn't say that it is supernatural. I said it's almost supernatural. I mean, it seems like it is. And I'm going to tell you that story, and I'm going to tell you guys this epiphany, and then ask you guys your opinion on, like, because some of you guys might know history, some of you guys might know some different things that might pertain to this, because I think that what's going on with me is genetic, not because of the work accident. Okay, so when I was about 15, I just got converted to being Mormon. And at that time, I mean, I've been going to church for maybe like 2 weeks after, being baptized and doing all that stuff, and going through the missionary stuff. So anyways, I'm sitting there. It's been, I've been going to church for a couple weeks. Well, my mom did, and I was staying with my mom at the time. And this didn't last longer than like 6 weeks, and you'll find out why here in a minute. What ended up happening was she didn't come home for a couple of days. So it was Saturday night, and she'd been gone since, I haven't seen her since Friday. And I don't know where my mom is. And all of a sudden, Saturday night, I get a phone call from her best friend saying, yeah, your mom was here. And, I thought that, after a while, it took a minute for it to dawn on me what was going on. And now I think I should actually warn you about your mother and what's about to go on. And so her and I get to talking. It turns out my mom showed up to buy some weed, buy some pills. And, she was so mad at me that she was going to show me a lesson, because, she was a control freak. And, I never obeyed just enough for her. And so, this was why her and I would butt heads, because of how controlling that she was. And so she ended up getting a pair of brass knuckles from her friend. And so I'm sitting there going, I'm 15 years old. I'm actually in pretty good shape. I've been playing sports for quite a few years at that point in time. I had my strengths. And so she ends up coming home Sunday late afternoon. So I ended up taking my little sister, because I was watching her the whole time. I ended up taking my little sister to church with me and back, because I had no other way to do it. And we had to walk a busy road to get there, because I did not have a ride at that time. And I may have been too prideful to ask for a ride too, just because I'm like, look, I'm going to deal with this, and, I'm going to handle it. So my mom gets home, and because I know what's coming on, I'm trying to exit the situation. So I'm trying to walk out the door, and my mom's standing right there. And as soon as I open that door, she pops me right in the jaw with a pair of brass knuckles. Okay. And I had this adrenaline rush. Apparently it's kind of like the same thing that I go through, but I have this rush, at this point in time. I'm like 15, almost 16. And I don't know, I could not recreate this to this day. Okay. So I ended up, so as soon as she hit me with the brass knuckles, I spun her around. Her arms were behind her, so I kind of used it as a bar. So I went in between it, picked her up like this over my head, and walked out the door, set her down, and began to walk down the driveway to exit the situation. Okay, and so I mean, the fact that I did that, I mean, that was well beyond what I. Anything that I'm capable of. I tried that with somebody that weighed less than my mom, and still I did not have the strength to be able to do it. I had some pretty that's how much adrenaline was running through my system. And so she had convinced her neighbor that I was such an unruly child that, he had to come over and he had to help. And so you've got this 7 foot tall, 300-pound man and this 5 foot 6 foot woman, 5 foot 6 woman who is about maybe 150 pounds. You got both of them trying to push me back into the house so that she could continue knocking the shit out of me with brass knuckles, right? And I'm just walking down the driveway, just normal, like upright, just like I am now. And these two, I mean, they got skid marks. They've got their legs locked, and I'm just pushing them right down the driveway as I'm trying to exit the situation. And that was something that was phenomenal. I always looked at that. I said, wow, I know that if shit really hits the fan and I really have to defend myself, I know that I'm capable of it when the time comes, just because of that experience. And I later on I've done something similar. I picked someone up and I threw them across the room. Okay, so yeah, that was interesting. And I when I came to, I had orange juice all over me. But I think because my mom had rage issues her whole life. I mean, her and my Aunt Cindy used to fight. She took a shovel and smacked my Aunt Cindy upside the head. I can say these things because my mom's dead now, so she's no longer on this planet. So she can't even face any criminal charges for anything that she's done, okay? Because she's no longer on this planet. I'm telling stories of what she has done. And this is just for YouTube because they're probably not going to like what I have to say here, okay? So one of the things that I have learned about myself is that there is something that has I apparently I've always been like this. I don't know if it's passed down genetics because my mom is or was like one of these ragers. You hear about these people in histories, like people that see red and just decimate everything around them. Is that something that was passed down to me genetically? Because of I've already shown that I can do it, that I'm capable of doing it, and that it does happen. And so my question becomes, did the accident at the airport, did that exacerbate, kind of like it's an open wound and just kind of like now it's gushing? Is it something like that to where it has a greater effect? Because my mom used to probably deal with it her whole life, but and I got plenty of whoopings to prove it. So I mean, I wonder if again, this is something that my mom may not have passed a lot down to me as far as the bad stuff, but this may have been the one thing that she did pass down to me. Okay, so I'm curious about that. And this is why, like, knowing yourself, kind of like trying to put the pieces together, understanding who you are, what it is that makes you that makes you tick, because there's going to be certain times, certain situations in which you're going to have to respond. Do you have the experience to be able to respond? Sam, leave it alone. Sam, leave it alone. But anyways, all right, guys, I got to get to the dog. I will, this is just my questions, and I'm just curious what you guys think. You guys know how to help the channel, become a subscriber. Everything else down in the description. Yeah, this is just a video for all of you guys to munch on, because tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm going to do a live stream after doing the ride along. But anyways, guys, see you tomorrow in tomorrow's live stream.